So what level of experience does a learner need to enter the job market? Let's talk about that in today's video. Welcome back, my name is Tim Buchalka with another programming tip of the day, and the question is, what level of experience does a learner need to enter the job market? Now the thing is, a learner usually has no experience as in not having worked as a programmer in another or in a job, full stop. So depending on the job you're applying for, you might find there's a huge list of requirements. Now these requirements are often desirable and not mandatory. So keep that in mind that if you see a list of all these technologies and skills that you need to have in order to get that job, someone's put together a shopping list of all the things they'd like a programmer to have. It's fairly unrealistic for a learner to have all those skills. I mean, that's the reality. You really haven't got all those skills because you'll learn a lot of those on the job, and you can only go through so many programming courses before you actually start your job. So it's not realistic in reality to try and employ someone who's a beginner and have that person have all these skills. But that's not to say that companies won't try that on. So keep in mind that just because you see that there's a huge list of requirements, don't let that stop you applying for a job. And I've got another video on applying for a job that you can check out. It gives you some tips on how to apply for a job if you haven't got the mandatory skills. So in terms of getting back to the original question though, what skills do you need or what experience do you need? You don't need to have any experience as a learner, assuming you're going for a job, an entry-level position. And that's because people will assume this is your first job. They'll assume you haven't got any job experience, and the pay will be proportioned to a beginner. And obviously they'll know, because it's basically they're looking for someone who is new, an entry-level position. They'll assume, or the chances are high, that the person that they'll employ won't have those or won't have that experience. So in terms of the basic skills that you need though to be able to go for a job of that nature, you obviously need to know some basic programming skills. I mean, obviously if you're going for a programming job, you need to have some programming skills. Not experience, we're not talking about having job experience, but you'll need to understand the particular programming language or a number of programming languages depending on the position. Understand how to program, the basics of programming. No one's going to expect you to be a guru, because this is an entry-level position. But they are going to assume that you have got some basic programming skills. You can, depending on the position, if it's with a team of people, that you've got a pleasant personality, you can get on with people, you've got some basic communication skills, and you're willing to learn. Very important that you're willing to learn as well. So they're the basic things you need. So in terms of what courses to take to get to those, or to get to that level, just look for a basic programming course. So a course that will teach you the basics of a particular programming language, Java, Python, C++, C, whatever the language is, and try and get that under your belt. And if you can, try and see whether you can get some experience in programming using an open source site like Github. So you can go into a site, once you've been through your first course and you understand the basics of programming, try going to github.com and doing a search for a topic that's of interest to you. Let's just say you're interested in gaming and you like card games. Do a search for blackjack and then the name of the programming language that you just learned, say Python. And more than likely you'll find a project for blackjack, the game, in the Python programming language, and grab that code, download it and start playing with it, understand the code, and maybe you can contribute back. You can make some changes to the game, enhance it, and upload that change back to GitHub, and that can be then added to your resume. You can come back and say, well, look, I worked on this particular game and I made some enhancements to it, and here's the link, you can go and check it out. And a person who is looking at your resume will be impressed. I know that I've employed a lot of programmers in the past, and if I see that a programmer has gone to the next level, they've actually done something a little bit more than what a lot of other candidates are doing, that's going to put you in a good position. And I would view that favorably, and I'm sure a lot of prospective employers would do the same. So try and do a little bit extra along those lines. Again, we're not talking about you necessarily having to have job experience, because this is an entry-level position, but going above and beyond a little bit can just greatly increase the opportunities that you have available to you. So that's it, a basic programming course, and perhaps a little bit extra work on the side in terms of visiting GitHub would really set you up, I think, for your job entry, for your first job at an entry-level position. Alrighty, so I hope that helped. If you've got any questions, feel free to leave a comment and I'll get back to you. If you're ready to look at the next tip, click on up here and you can check that out. If you're interested in coding specific programming videos, click on the link in the bottom left hand corner. Consider subscribing by clicking on the link up here, and I'll see you soon.